Hi, I'm Cassie, and you're watching the video tutorial for Gartenbau by Fisher Heaton Games. In the beautiful game Gartenbau, which means horticulture in German, you are a gardener racing to plant seedlings and grow them into fully developed flowers in such ways that you earn prestige, hopefully more prestige than your competing gardeners. Throughout the game, players will take turns deciding upon either gathering resources or planting seeds and growing flowers in various ways, all in efforts to earn the most prestige. When a player has placed the fourth flower in their garden, or there are no more seedlings to purchase from the market, the game will end and the player with the most prestige is the winner. In this video, we will learn how to set up Gartenbau, and then we will learn how to play the game. After we have taken a look at all of the available options players may take and how a round works, we will look at the endgame scoring and how we calculate who has earned the most prestige and the rightful title to Gartenmeister. Ready to play? Me too. Let's head off and learn how to play Gartenbau. In Gartenbau, you will be collecting sunlight and water resources to nourish your seedlings into first young plants and eventually luxurious flowers. Flowers and plants require specific types, or colors, of seedlings in order to grow, as well as specific amounts of sunlight and water. Gardening isn't always easy, but reaps great benefits, and the same is true in Gartenbau. For most endgame prestige is earned through grown plants and flowers. However, this is not the only way to earn prestige, as flowers grown may have bonus scoring mechanics. To set up Gartenbau, first take the seedlings tiles, shuffle them, and place the seedling deck in the center of the table in reach of all players. Reveal the top 5 seedlings and place them in a row with the deck at the beginning of the row. This is your seedlings market, which is where you will acquire your seedlings during the game. Next, create stacks of plant tiles near the seedling market, separated by color. Then take each stack and arrange the tiles in ascending order so the lowest valued prestige plant is on top and the highest valued prestige plant is on the bottom. Once all 6 sets of plant tiles have been stacked in ascending order, the flower deck is shuffled and each player is dealt a hand of 5 flower tiles, which they may look at, but will keep secret from other players. Once all players have their 5 flower tiles, they will draft these tiles around the table clockwise. To draft tiles, each player looks at their hand and selects a flower tile they wish to keep for the game. Once they've selected one, they pass the remaining 4 flower tiles to the player to their left. After players pass their hand the first time, all players will take the new hand of 4 tiles they just received and will add the tile they chose from their previous hand to this new hand of 4 tiles to make a hand of 5 tiles again. Now, all players will select 2 flower tiles to keep from this new hand of 5 tiles and will pass the remaining 3 tiles to the player to their left. Again, the tiles chosen from the previous hand are added to this new hand to make a hand of 5 tiles once again. Players will draft again, selecting 3 tiles from their combined hand of 5 and passing the remaining 2. Finally, players will draft 4 final tiles, discarding the remaining 5th tile they did not wish to keep. Gartenbau has an alternative way of drafting if you are playing with 2 players. If playing with 2 players, place imaginary players in the 2nd and 4th position for drafting. Give each dummy player 5 face-down flower tiles. Randomly remove 1 tile from each dummy pile at the beginning of each round of drafting, removing them from the game without examining them. Drafting can be a bit difficult for new players as each flower has specific ways it earns players prestige as well as specific plants it requires to grow. So the rules provide 5 recommended starting hands which players may choose to start with instead of drafting. In this video, we will be using the recommended starting hand combinations 1, 2, and 3. After flower tiles have been distributed accordingly and all players have their hand of 4 flowers, each player takes any combination of 5 resources from the table, choosing between water or sunlight. Finally, each player receives a random starter tile and places their chosen side of the tile face up to begin their tableau, or garden. Gartenbau is now set up and ready to play, beginning with the player who most recently gardened and proceeding in clockwise order. Each player on their turn may take 1 action out of a possible 4. Let's take a look at the 4 different actions players have to choose from. The first action available is to buy a seedling tile from the market. The tile furthest from the seedling deck is free, but as you move closer, You will have to spend one resource of your choice on each tile you pass to get to the tile you wish to purchase. How do you decide which seedling tile to purchase? Well, that depends on the flower tiles in your hand. Each flower tile requires 1 or 2 specific combinations of plant tiles to be grown before it can be placed as grown. Each plant tile also contains resource requirements and specific seedlings to grow. To grow plants, seedling tiles must be planted in your tableau in such a way that a plant tile will meet its requirements when crossing 2 different seedling tiles. So to know which seedling tile to purchase, it's best to look at your flower hand first and build your strategy backwards, starting with your flower's requirements to earn you prestige. The second action available to players, which is another purchase action, is to purchase a plant tile. The active player chooses the top plant tile from one of the stacks. The resource purchase requirements on the tile are returned to the center bank, and the plant tile purchased is then placed in the tableau so it covers 2 seedling tiles which meet either of the 2 seedling color requirements. Plant tiles become increasingly more valuable the further down the stack you go, but they also increase in resource cost, so you will need to determine as you play the game whether you want to spend resources for more prestige or save the resources but earn less prestige from less expensive plant tiles. The third available action to players on their turn is to place a flower tile from their hand into their tableau. Similar to the way plant tiles have requirements, flower tiles have either 1 or 2 requirements to choose from for plant tiles to be grown in your tableau before a flower tile may be placed. To celebrate your grown flower, you earn 3 resources from the center bank. The resources you take are restricted to 2 of one type and 1 of the other. The final action players may choose from on their turn is to take resources from the center bank. Similar to the restriction for resources received from flower planting, if a player chooses to take resources for their turn, they may take 2 of one type and 1 of the other. Starting with the first player and rotating clockwise, each player will get to take 1 of the 4 available actions on their turn and then will pass their turn. When the final round is triggered from a player placing either the 4th flower tile in their tableau or from purchasing the final seedling tile from the market, all players who did not get a chance to take a turn this round will get to take 1 final turn and then the game will end. Let's go take a look at how we do endgame scoring in Gartenbau and learn who has earned the most prestige. First, each planted flower will score prestige based on its specific scoring mechanic and requirements. The rules will contain a handy reference guide to the iconography on each flower, and each player will have a guide of their own to use to make scoring easier for players. After flower prestige is calculated, players earn prestige for any plant tiles which are visible in their tableau. Whichever player has the most prestige is the winner. In the case of a tie, whichever player has the fewest flower tiles in hand is the winner. If still tied, the player with the fewest plant tiles showing in their tableau is the winner. And if still tied, the player with the fewest seedlings showing is the winner. Thank you so much for watching the video tutorial for Gartenbau by Fisher Heaton Games. Don't forget to check out the Kickstarter campaign, and if you have any questions about the game, be sure to leave a comment below. I'm Cassielle, and I'll see you next time.